Hi guys, it's Darlene from Couture, and we're going to do a fun Christmas project. I told you each week we would do one Christmas project because it's never too early to start making stuff for Christmas. So today we're going to do this towel, and it is a gingerbread theme. I am hoping that they bring back this transfer. It has been retired, but I have submitted to them in their suggestion area that they bring back a gingerbread family, which would be really awesome. I would love that. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to put our ink mat on the back of this. So I have already ironed this out. You always want to start with a nice flat surface. You want to iron out all of your wrinkles, and then you're going to take your ink mat, peel the plastic off. This is sticky, so this is going to hold your fabric in place, and this is also going to prevent the ink from going through onto the other side, onto the other part of the towel. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to smooth this out just like that. And then we'll get started. And when you are doing fabric, you do not need to fuzz your transfer. You simply need to lay your transfer down onto your fabric and solidly adhere it. Press out all of your bubbles. I've got stuff on me. I'm a messy crafter. So we're going to remove this from the backer sheet. This has been used several times. On the back of it is an X that tells me don't put it back on that side. You're going to put it back on the glossy side. These are a silk screen, so you can see the silk screen in there. It is not just a stencil, it is different. You're going to lay it down on your fabric and smooth out the area. Get all of your air bubbles out. I'm going to do that with both pieces because in the center I'm going to put a cute little heart. So this is our gingerbread, guys, and we have our ink right here. We have bark. We're going to use that for a gingerbread. I thought about maybe mixing the color, but you know, I'm just going to go with that. I could mix it and get more of a golden color than brown, but maybe I'll do that with some other ones that I sell. So we're just smoothing this out, making sure that there's no air bubbles in there. And then this is our cute little saying, we go together like milk and cookies. And I'm sure they do. So this will be fun for Christmas. This will be a cute little towel to give as a gift or to sell. So I'm a little concerned because the words are close to the edge. So I'm going to take some of our blue painter's tape and I'm going to just put it down here on the edge and then up at the top. Make sure that I don't get the ink onto the fabric. And those colors, I'm going to do red and green. So I will do red, and then this will be green, and this will be bark. So I like to start at the top and work down, so I'm not dragging my hand across what I just worked on. So I will take, let's see, actually I'm going to do green and then red. I don't need a lot of this. It will actually go a long ways. And I'm going to use the multi-tool. I'll probably grab a few more of these when I take my transfers over and put them into the water bath, because they're going to come in handy for the small stuff like the eyeballs and the frosting. Just going to set this to the side. I may need that color again, and then I'm going to do red right here. You don't want to work your paste, your chalk. Try again. You don't want to work your ink too much. Your ink is different than chalk paste. Your ink is very fluid. it will go underneath the silkstring transfer and it will blur out the words or your design. So you simply want to smooth it out, take the excess off, put that back into your jar, and that's it. You're not just working and working it. And then you can simply pull your transfer. So I'll take this blue painter's tape off first, set that to the side, and then we'll pull our transfer. So you always want to pull your transfer side to side or top to bottom. We're going to pull this side to side, just like that. Okay, perfect. This is going into the water bath. A water bath is simply a container of water that we soak things in until it is time to wash them. So for our gingerbread people, we're going to use bark, and just going to spoon some on here and there, and then I'm going to start spreading. I'm going to use a little bit larger squeegee. Don't need our biggest one, but we use a larger one than we had before. Just going to spread this and fill our silk screen area. And it's soaking into this fabric, so I'm going to need just a little bit more. This is a very fluid consistency. It will not thicken up on you. You will never have to add water. It will always be the right consistency when you open your jar. So do not add water. You're simply going to open it, stir it, and go. And the only reason I stir it is just out of habit. You truly don't have to stir it. It does not need anything stirred up. It does not separate. You simply could open it and start spooning out of it. So we're just spreading this through the silk screen, filling all of the area, making sure that it's nice and smooth underneath. And then I'm going to pull my transfers, and they are going to go into my water bath. Just have a little bit of an area right here that I can see that it doesn't have any ink down in there. Okay, I think that's good, and I stuck my finger in it. Always make sure that you have paper towels or Clorox wipes close by so that you can wipe your hands. I'm going to wipe my hands on a Clorox wipe after I pull this. I'm going to be very careful as I pull this. I'm not going to touch it with that finger. This is going to go into my water bath. I see an area right here that I want to go over. It wasn't quite smooth. So now is your time to do that. Okay, so I'm going to pull this, and this is going to go into the water bath. I'm grabbing a Clorox wipe, wiping my fingers so that I don't get the ink onto my towel. Never be too careful. I'm pretty messy, so I'm always expecting that I will have ink or chalk paste on me somewhere. Alright, so now we're going to pull this. This is going to go into the water bath. I see another area right here, so just going to dip this into that, and then I'm going to just fill that area. So now is the time to do that when you see it. Okay, perfect. Lift this up, goes into the water bath. my fingers. And now we're going to dry this, but we need to remove this from the ink mat. Do not ever dry your fabric when the ink mat is on there. Your ink mat will start to twist and bubble, and you will ruin it, and you will be very sad. So you're carefully going to remove this. We're just carefully peeling this up so it doesn't fold onto each other. We're going to clean our mat. I'm going to set this to the side for just a second. We're going to clean our mat because we're going to use it again. So the way to clean this is to spray some water on it. I'm going to simply spray some water on here. Take your paper towel and you're going to wipe. And that's all you're going to do. That's going to clean it. That's going to take off the ink. And it's going to dry very quickly. You don't press hard. You're just getting that ink off of there. Okay? You don't want to take the sticky off. I'm going to set this to the side and we're going to dry our towel. So I have a heat gun here that I'm going to use. Ink takes longer to dry. It does not dry fast like chalk paste. So you're going to take your time. We want this to be dry because we're going to put the next layer on here. And I can see it changing color, so I know it's drying. I'm going to turn it just to air so that it can cool back down. Okay, so we are going to take this, we're going to put it back onto the ink mat. I'm grabbing a couple of extra multi-tools. I'm just going to lift that up. Going to lay this down. We only need this in the area that we are doing the ink on it. We've already done up here, so honestly we don't need it up there. We need it down here on these guys. Okay, so we have all of our little pieces that we're going to use. We have our heart that's going to go in the center here. So we are going to have to dry in between some of these. So I think what I'll do first is I will go ahead and do the faces. This one is obviously her face because it has the little eyelashes and this one does not. So I was trying to decide if I was going to do this with black or white, and I still can't decide because I don't think that black is going to show up. Well, let's see, what shall I do? Well, technically it should be black and the frosting is all white. So I think I'll go ahead and I will do the black and we'll see how it looks. And the next time I do these, I'll make that decision whether I use white or black, I guess. All right, so doing our little details on the faces, spreading the ink throughout the transfer. It's going through the silk screen onto the fabric below. Put the extra back into the jar. Don't work it too much, just get it in there and get it smoothed out and then pull your transfer. Just like that. Okay. So black is really difficult sometimes. Not so happy with those eyes, but I'm going to put a little white dot in them. Black is kind of runny, so it doesn't look as good as I would hope that it would, but we're not going to fuss over it. We're going to just keep going. So this is the frosting that goes onto her dress, and I was thinking that maybe I should do this with the burgundy and have her have a burgundy hat. Let's see, which one should she do? She should have the hat like that, but I'll have to dry that first. So I have to think about this as we go. Let's do, she's gonna have all burgundy, so we'll go ahead and do that. This is our, sorry, this color, let me look, gosh, Currant Jam, sorry, drew a blank, it's a little late. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this, and you can see it just has like a little bit of color there. And I am probably going to rework those eyes because I am not happy with those eyes. I am going to take my stylus and I am going to rework those eyes. And then I'm going to put a white dot in there when we're all done. Black can be really thin compared to the other colors, so sometimes black will seep through. Okay, all right, that's better. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of the frosting, which could be tricky because I have to use the same piece over and over. So I'm going to use it here, 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 and then I have this other one that I'm going to use on the hands, and then we're going to dry, because I think that we can't do the hats without having it dry. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let's see, we will use a multi-tool for this. I'm just going to move this out of the way so I have it closer. So I'm just going to go ahead, and you don't have to hurry with this because chalk paste is different. It dries really quickly. Ink is really fluid and you have more time to work with it. So it's not a big deal. You're just gonna get these done. Just take your time. Get them lined up. Remember that ink is permanent. So whatever you do is gonna be there. These little guys, just getting their frosting. Okay, now I'm going to do the frosting on their hands, and that is with this one right here. Let me put this down for just a second. This is this one. And like you see, I am not fuzzing these. I am simply putting it on. And that is gonna, I'm gonna be touching the eye area. So I'm gonna wait. I am going to, let's see, let's go ahead and we'll do the heart. We'll do what we can. And then we will dry because I'll have to remove the ink mat again. So that can go right there. And I wanted to do this in red. So put our red right here. And I do have a red squeegee here somewhere. Okay. My heat press keeps talking to me. My heat press keeps wanting to turn off. So I have this little mini squeegee. Just gonna smooth this out. Need a little bit more. This transfer has been used a bit, this heart. I've used it for other things and I can feel it moving. So I'm just gonna hold it down. Don't want it to move and scooch around. And then I'm gonna pull it just like that. Okay, all right. So this transfer is retired, which is very sad. But I am trying to get them to bring it back, to hopefully bring back a whole family of gingerbreads. So I have asked them for that, and I know some of the other designers would like that too. If you're a designer, you can go in there and you can make suggestions. There is not an area for just the general public, although you could send them a message. But I just think this is so darn cute, and I think they should have it in all different sizes is what they should do. I suggested a gingerbread family because I thought that would be really cute. All right, so I need to dry this because I can't go on and do the rest of it without drying it. So we are gonna take off the mat once again, and we're gonna dry. And this is just part of the process. This is just something that you have to do. So I'm peeling my towel off. I'm gonna set this to the side. I'm gonna clean my mat so it's ready when I need it again. And then I'm gonna dry my towel with my heat gun. So it's step by step. And that's what I'm hoping that I'm teaching you, is that step by step. This is actually very simple. It is not difficult at all. You just need to know what steps do you need to do this in. Okay, so we're gonna dry this with the heat gun now. You could use a hair dryer. You could use a craft heat gun. This is an industrial heat gun. So this is from the new line. You want to continually move your heat gun. Don't leave it in one place. You don't want to burn your ink or your fabric. It's very hot. Okay, I want to turn it to just air so it can return to room temperature. Okay, so what we're going to do next, we need to do his scarf, and we need to do his hat, or her hat. Okay, we're going to do her hat with this. I feel like this is not completely, it's not completely dry, the eyeballs. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to dab at it. Take off a little bit of that, and I am going to dry it again. We still have to put our ink mat back on. Okay, all right, let me see. Okay, that's much better. All right, so our ink mat is simply going to slide underneath. It's going to hold this in place. This is cool enough to go ahead and put my transfers on it. So this one, I'm going to do this one for this little girl. She's going to have the striped hat. Thought that was cute. Okay, so this is our current jam. I remembered that time. There's a lot of colors that are similar, but they're not the same names, but some of them are, so you have to think about it sometimes. The colors might look the same in the ink and the chalk paste, but they might have different names. They started naming them the same just recently. So It's going to be easier from here on out. I'm going to pull this transfer. And there's her little hat. And I probably could have went down a little bit, but I'm not going to stress. This is a towel. It kind of looks kind of wonky there. What to do? What to do? Well, let's get the rest of it on there and we'll see, because I may fix that. So let's get his hat on him. And it's actually going to go down by his eyebrows. And his I'm going to do with peacock. Just going to grab a squeegee. And this one's been used a lot too. So I can tell on the transfers I've used a lot because they don't adhere completely to my fabric. Okay, so I'm going to pull that like that. Just like that. Okay. So now this guy needs to have his scarf. And we are going to do that with the peacock also. Not going to do, well, you know what, let's do that red. So maybe we'll do that. Well, this is red. You know what, I'm just going to do it peacock. So she has burgundy colored. She has the current jam and he has peacock, and we're just going to make them matching. All right, so just gonna hold this down while I'm pulling this across. Has been used a lot. Our silk screen transfers are reusable. At some point they do have their end of life, but I try to keep using them as long as I can. So, all right, now we're going to do all the little frosting and try to do this without having to dry. I think I can get in there just like that. So we have our little multi-tool. Going to just do our little frosting right there, just like that. Going to do frosting on each hand. Oop. Okay. I think he needs some buttons. I think he's missing something. We'll see. I know he definitely needs white in his eyes. In his eye. I am tired. Do you know it is late? It is 11 p.m. and I have to be up at 4. So I am up a little bit late, but I do that. Tend to do that. Go to bed late, get up early. That's just the way it is. All right, so I kind of think he needs something there, but let me put their eyeballs on and we'll take another look at it. So I think they need to have, but I need to see if it's dry. Okay, see if it's dry first. They need to have a little dot in their eyes because honestly it looks a little weird. So, and this late night crafting, I'm a little tired. Been a long day. Woo, that's too much. This is not like paint. This is thick. So it's hard to judge when you just want to get like a little dot. When you're used to doing this with paint, that's different. When you're using the ink, it's not completely round. It's going to change too. As soon as I heat press it, it's going to change it. All right, so I'm looking at her hat and it's bugging me. I'm going to grab a paintbrush and we're going to fix that. Okay, so her hat is not down far enough for me. So I am simply gonna paint with a paintbrush and hopefully not ruin it. I am simply going to paint, and you can do this. You can use a paintbrush. You can blend it in. Okay, mucho better. Mucho, mucho better. All right, what do you think? Okay, and his, I am not going to worry about that. His is fine. So, I don't think it needs anything else. The only thing I don't like that these are open. So, sorry that they're not open. Dang, I am tired. Dang. Okay, so I wanted them to have a center, so I'm just painting a little center, and that's all. I'm done. Just wanted to have a little white in there. It could be sleep deprivation talking. All right, so what we need to do is we need to dry this and then heat set it. So let me figure out if I'm done. I don't like how the end of this little thing looks. It looks a little wonky to me. Don't know why it's like that. It doesn't join together. So I'm just going to paint with my stylus. Okay, that's better. I think he needs some like a little piece of coal on his belly. What do you think? Like a little round thing of coal. Like maybe a round circle of coal. One, two, three. Okay, so okay. I think we're done. All right. So I'm going to pull this off the ink mat and going to dry it with my heat gun, and then we are going to heat press it. So I'm gonna clean my ink mat. I'm really good about that. Clean it immediately, and then you don't have to worry about it getting ruined, having ink dry on it, and the next time it gets on your project. So simply clean it with water and a paper towel. Don't rub hard. Set it to the side. Okay, so now we are ready to dry this, and then we will heat press it. You don't have to dry it all the way. The heat press will do that for you. So this goes underneath, and then we're going to put a piece of parchment paper underneath and on top. So chances are that some of this is going to go onto the parchment paper, and that is why we're doing that. So this will go underneath to protect the mat. That is a mat that you buy for the Cricut heat press. We're going to heat set this with a Cricut heat press at 305 for 30 seconds on both sides. So I have it already heated up. This is what it looks like. The other side is the heat press, and it's very hot. It's at 305, and it has a timer. You're going to press the green button and it starts to count down for 30 seconds. And I'm just going to start moving this out of the way here. So what I'm going to do, as soon as I'm done here, I will clean my transfers. I will wipe the rim of my jars of ink and clean all of the tools. And this is water soluble. It will just wash right off. Okay, we're going to go to our next area. So I'm dividing this into threes because it's not big enough to do the entire thing. I have a t-shirt press in the other room. If I was doing a whole bunch of these, I would use that. But to show you, it would be too difficult to try to take the camera in there. The heat press is big enough to do an entire t-shirt that's in the other room. But this is convenient. This I could take to a craft show. This is easy to use out here. It's easy to show you guys. So I'm just setting the timer each time. 30 seconds is counting down. If you did not have a heat press, you could use your iron, and you would simply iron this for 3 or 4 minutes on one side, moving your iron. You would set it to whatever temperature you would need for the fabric that you're doing. So this is a cotton fabric, and so I would set my iron to cotton. And you don't want to just leave it in one place and have it get scorched. You want to continually move it when you're using an iron. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to lift this, and I can see that it flattened this out, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's kind of wonky there, but you know what? It's a gingerbread guy. So I am going to flip this over. Woo, did you see that? It rolled right up. That's kind of funny. Or maybe I'm just tired. It could be that I'm just tired. All right, guys. Here we go. So I'm flipping that over. I'm going to reuse this. I didn't see any ink on it, so I'm going to reuse it. Going to put this up here, and we're going to count down again. So while this is going, I wanted to let you guys know that if any of you have questions about joining Chalk Couture, how it can benefit you, how much it costs, what you need to do once you join, just leave me a message. I'd be happy to get with you and explain it all. It's very simple. It's $99 to join, to become a designer, and you get an awesome kit that has $240 retail worth of product in it. And then you are able to purchase anything from the catalog basically online on your website. You can purchase anything at 40% off. You get a great 40% off discount. So that to me is totally worth it. That was why I joined Chalk Couture in the beginning, because I thought this is pretty awesome. I will just do this for my craft shows, and I'll just add all these awesome signs. And then I got so many people interested in how was this made? How did I do this? How did I do that? And wanting to know about it, that this spring I started bringing my transfers and the chalk paste and ink to the craft shows to show people, and it was really a lot of fun. I love being able to demo the product and show them just how easy it is, because as you can see, this project is very easy. It's simply step by step. So watch the tutorials, go onto YouTube, go onto Facebook, watch them over and over, and it will sink in. And that's what it takes. It simply, you know what, I need to do this again. It simply is repetitiveness, over and over and over, watching the same stuff, doing the same thing. I feel like this needs done again. It was a little bit thicker. So you can make that call. If you think it's not heat set properly, then just do it again. If it felt to me like it was thick, and I think it's because I did that afterwards. So we're just gonna do it one more time. And then it will be permanent. These can be washed, these can be used. You could hang these just to look at, or you could actually use these. In my house, all this stuff gets used. It doesn't just get looked at. It gets worn out. We use it so much. So that's why I'm showing you these things, so you can make some for your house. All right, that turned off. And I think we're done, guys. What do you think? Do you like it? I could make like 10 of these, and they could all be different. That would be really cute for the craft shows. And I know they would sell. Towels always sell. People love to have little holiday towels. So if you have questions, just leave me a message. I'd be happy to help you with anything that you need help with Chalk Couture. If you just want to order and make these yourself, or if you want to join, just let me know. Have a great night. I am going to clean up and I am going to go to bed. Night, night.